Hi, I'm Sophie,
And I'm Joe.
and welcome back to
Spilled.
Spilled. So today we have a fun special guest. And would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us your name, your major.
Yeah, I would. Hi, I'm Maddie. I am a media production major, first year, with a focus in film and television.
Yes.
Woo!
Me too. Today we are going to be talking about something that has a lot of different directions that we could go, I guess is the best way to say this. But we're going to be talking about death. Crazy topic. I'm excited though because I do have a lot of opinions on death, but I'm excited to hear your opinions. And I guess I would like to just start with if everyone could just go around. This sounds so
Like a circle.
and start with your personal encounters with death in your own life and your own experiences with it. I don't know who wants to start.
So my personal experience, probably I lost my cousin when I was a sophomore in high school. That was pretty big. And then also, like, as a kid, I used to have really bad anxiety about dying. And I was quite terrified of death.
Maddie, what about you?
Okay, my personal, I dreamed a lot about death as a kid. Like, I would always
You dreamed?
I would dream about dying all the time.
Sleep.
Like, in my sleep, I would be
Okay.
sleeping, and I would, like, have a dream that I died when I was a little girl.
Wow.
Because I think I watched some Disney movie, and someone died in it.
It's always the Disney movies.
And then I was, like, I was like,
Guess
oh my
they
gosh,
impact
death,
us.
death, death.
Wait, was it Lion King?
Probably.
That one has a lot of death scenes in it.
Yeah.
That does.
And it makes me really
Tragic,
sad.
Like,
actually.
horrible.
It's
And
really
like
sad.
Finding Nemo, the beginning scene, his mom
Oh
gets
my God,
eaten.
yeah.
Why are there so many deaths in Disney?
All the
movies?
princesses' parents are
Yeah.
dead.
It's like character development. That's like
Yeah.
the
But like we're kids.
favorite.
I know.
Interesting.
But they gotta add something like
I guess so.
deep-ish
Yeah.
adjacently.
Okay.
And then my sophomore year, my Mimi passed away right before it began, and that was a little hard. And then senior year in November, my father passed away unexpectedly. And then in May, right, like 2 weeks before I graduated high school, my grandpa had a heart attack and he passed away.
Wow.
So senior year was filled with death.
A lot. I
of
mean, in
death.
general, it seems
Yeah.
like you have a lot of experiences
Yeah.
with that. I'm very sorry to hear
All
about
good.
that. We'll get into it a little bit. For me, my grandpa died of liver disease. My uncle died of cancer, and my old principal also died. That was a whole situation
Mhm.
with the school. That was during my senior year. And then, I mean, dogs, if we're counting animals.
Oh,
Dogs,
yeah, I've got.
that's been pretty recent, actually.
Wait, my cat died recently.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so
R.I.P.
sorry.
Mr. Fluffykins.
I'm so sorry.
Rip.
I hate when animals die.
It's okay. Anyway, it makes it better that his name was Mr. Fluffykins. I feel like that.
I know, when you
Lengthens
said that,
it.
I was like, okay. But something I kind of want to talk about with you guys is I've been thinking about this idea of when people die of natural causes versus something accidental or disease or something of the sort. That always kind of not fascinates me, but makes me think really hard about if that hits different in a way. If you've seen that it like kind of hits a little different, because especially when it's an accident, then grief can kind of be harder maybe because there's so many questions you don't have answered.
Yeah.
Whereas if it is of natural causes or like you almost see it coming a little, so it's a little less unexpected. What do you guys think about that? And like, have you ever had in your own life a difference between like natural causes versus it was something accidental or it was something that wasn't supposed to happen in a way?
I have.
Okay.
But, like, I feel like it's kind of hard because, like, with suicide, like, I feel like that could...
Which we've touched on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
last
that's-
episode. Go
Yes.
watch that one after you're done watching this one, by the way. But I feel like with suicide, it's kind of like, it's weird because it's, like, you don't expect it, but at the same time, it's like if you know someone's going through a hard time, you're obviously not mentally prepared for that, but like you can kind of see like
The connections.
yeah, but it's definitely like I think it's a bit more of a shock versus like dealing with someone who's sort of been ill for a while. It can be more of like you have time to mentally prepare. I don't think it's fair to say though like it's as easy cuz
Yeah, I don't think it is.
yeah, I just don't feel like you can be like comparable like pains.
Okay.
At least in my opinion, but I also think that like the hard thing is when you have a family member or someone who is just like ill and
Yeah.
sick is that you have to watch them for maybe a longer period of time like struggling with that sickness and that illness,
Yeah.
and that can be very
Yeah.
painful within itself. But I think both of them are very equally as
Yeah,
taxing.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying more of like the shock of it kind of
Yeah.
has a different level of that.
Yeah. Well, both of like the recent tests I went through were both unexpected. Even my grandpa, he had been at the hospital an hour before at his doctor's, and they were like, "Your levels are fine, like you're fine." And then he
Wow.
drove home, and he ended up dying. He collapsed on our porch. It was a mess. And my dad, he was only 53.
Yeah.
You never expect someone to go at 53 of anything, but he had like a level 3 brain bleed. So you basically
Oh
you're
my gosh.
brain dead.
And there wasn't any build up to that?
He had had a stroke a couple months prior.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But then everyone, like his doctors, were like, "You're fine because you're healthy, you're thin, you don't drink anymore, you don't smoke anymore." Because he had alcoholism, like, throughout his whole life. And then he was sober. And they were like, "Because you aren't putting your body through that anymore, like, you should be fine." But he was someone who didn't accept help. And that's what I think kind of led to his, and the end goal of him dying. Like, kind of, like, I think that was a lot of, like, not accepting help from people.
Yeah.
He was just really independent and didn't like feeling like he was taking from people. But again, that was really unexpected. But I think pain is pain no matter where it comes from, especially in death situations. Like, I lost my grandma Jerry when I was little, my great grandma, and she had cancer. So like watching her kind of like leave us, that still hurt. And my Mimi she was like kind of like it would have been a long time coming, like it's not getting better.
Okay.
So it's either going to stay the same or it's just kind of going to decline, and you kind of had to accept
Yeah.
that. But then my grandpa and dad, that was unexpected. But both of the pains I felt in those 4 moments, they were all like the same kind of like almost level. Shock is like a big factor though. Like some things you
Yeah.
just are like left in a state of shock. Like you're like, I don't believe this. Like,
This shouldn't happen.
yeah, like
to me,
I still
or,
like I couldn't hardly comprehend that my grandpa's gone. Like I had seen him the day before and he was fine. And that's so like weird to me almost, because I'm like
Yeah.
still in a state of shock. I'm like, it's not real almost. That's like where my shock leaves me. I'm almost like I try to pretend it's not real sometimes.
Yeah. I know for me, I mean, both my grandpa and my uncle, that was kind of like a build up to that. And I mean, as a kid, this is also something else. Like, if you go through seeing someone die or having a death in the family or somewhere when you're a kid, I feel like that's such a terrible experience. And I hate that, like, that even happens. And I think that
Yeah.
that goes all the way until you're, like, 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that should happen to anyone, but, I mean, it does all the time.
Yeah.
And that's so unfortunate.
How do you think, like, you know, when you lose someone, like, it has, like, effects on you, obviously. How do you think it changes you as a person? Or how do you think it has changed you? Because I think it can continuously.
I talk about this all the time. I've talked about it in front of Sophie before.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up planning my whole life. Like, I was like, depending on who I was dating at the time, I'd be like, I'm going to marry them. I'm going to have 4 kids. I'm living in this kind of house. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be like this until I'm this years old. Whatever. And then, especially senior year, when I lost 2 people really out of nowhere, really unexpectedly, I was like, I don't want to plan my whole life ahead. Because I never know what's
Yeah.
going to happen. I never know how something's going to affect me. I want to live day by day. So be it. Like, I like living day by day. It's made me feel more alive than being like planning this, planning that, planning all of this. Not that this is like almost like a subsection of death to me, is like how you lived your life. Because like when I think about the people that have passed away, I think about how they lived their lives. Did they plan their days day to day? You never know what's going to happen. So I just, like, really changed
Yeah.
my mindset of how I live my own personal life.
Yeah. And I gotta say, knowing Maddie, like, I can tell, and I love it. Like, as a person who is very strict with schedule and stuff, like, being around Maddie makes me feel. We spent 8 hours at a dining hall once, and I didn't have any second thoughts about it. Like,
No, I skipped the class.
Like-
because I was like, sure, I have a scheduled class, but I'm having fun, and it's an
Mhm.
online class, and
who knows what tomorrow's gonna be like?
yeah, who knows
And
what
I
could happen
didn't really
tomorrow.
think like that as much as I do when I'm with Maddie. So I will say it's making an
Thank you.
impact on people, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, because
But-
you never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
No,
You
and that's
never
a
know what's gonna happen
scary
tomorrow.
thought. I
So,
like,
live it to the fullest.
yeah, that's an amazing message, honestly. For me, with grief, my situation with that was, yes, it was like a loss for me, but in both of those situations, it was more of having to watch other people who were way more
Yeah,
connected to it go through so much pain, and that
yeah,
is something I can't even describe,
yeah,
because I am very much empathetic, and watching people hurt like that is terrible.
Yeah.
Horrible, horrible, horrible.
I think
So,
it's also hard, like with that, when you're someone who's never really experienced like a really big grief. Like with my cousin, it was like I had never lost like a brother, so I didn't know what it like. I didn't know how to support them, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
And that I think that
Yeah.
can be really hard when you love someone so much, and then they lose someone that they love, but you don't know how to necessarily like help them through it.
yeah.
And I think there's a really big issue where people try and like gloss over it. And so because they don't know how to help, so they try and act like, you know, things are normal, which can help, I guess, because it's, you know, in some way you're just letting them sort of figure it out on their own. But it's also, I think, sometimes it can be really nice for people who do face big losses in their lives to talk about it and to, like, have someone reach out. But I also wanted to ask you guys, because I haven't had a really big loss, but how do you go about supporting someone who might be in the position of losing someone that is really close to them?
I haven't had a huge loss in my life myself. Like, nothing I can't even imagine. But, I mean, I think in general it just depends on the person, because a lot of people deal with grief in different ways. And sometimes that's, I want to talk to you about it and I want to talk through it. And sometimes it's like, I need to be alone,
I need space.
you know, and
Yeah.
that's always hard to figure out with that person, you know, how to go about it.
Mhm.
I just think, like, everyone handles things differently. And, like, I lived with my grandparents. So, like,
Yeah.
watching my grandma, they were married for 55 years. They had been married since she was 18. She went through probably the biggest loss of her life. And we just had, like, a lot of family time. I think that's, like, the most important thing, is having family time after.
Mhm.
Dude, I'm gonna cry.
I see that.
But,
That's okay. That's okay.
yeah.
Stop, she's gonna make me cry.
I know.
Wait, guys. Crying's embarrassing.
No,
not
no,
if we're
it's
not if we all cry, because then it's
Not if
no,
we
no,
all
no,
cry.
it's okay.
It's fine.
But yeah, I think, like, just, like, I think being there for each other,
Yeah.
I think that's always, like, what's most important. Like, me and my family went to dinner a lot after. But it was a freaking really busy time. I almost said the F word.
You can cuss. It's okay.
Because-
It's okay.
I literally graduated high school 2 weeks after my grandpa died.
That's hard.
And that was, like, insane. And the day of his funeral, that night I had to go to my senior awards. Guys, can I just tell you how many people came to his procession or whatever it's called, or, like, the beginning part? 1,000 people.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
That was the most lit party in Claremont County that day.
It was hella popular.
It was hella popular.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. But that, I think, really, really helped my grandma a lot in that moment, just seeing how loved he was.
Yeah.
And it helped me, because that day was horrible. But, like, you never, like, realize, like, what people were when you're family. I don't think, like, because I'm like, oh, that's my grandpa. Like, he's had a great impact on my life, but I don't know what he does for others. Like, I've seen him
Yeah.
in his community. But watching people come in and out and getting hugs and them just telling stories, you just realize, like, how loved people are, especially in your family. So I think, like, just not looking back on the bad, almost, like, with each other, and just, like, having that family time, that core family time, to, like, just support each other. Because you're all
Yeah.
going through something, no matter if, like, one of you's feeling it more deeply and one of you feeling at surface level. Because it's grief, and grief is a huge thing. It's like a monster, and it kind of just, like, holds you there for a second. It holds you there, and you're all being held at the same time. And maybe one finger on you is larger than the other finger on me, but, like, we're still feeling it. So just being there for each other and, like, accepting, hey, I don't want to talk right now, or hey, I do want to talk right now, or let's go out to eat and just eat. And, like, we don't have to bring up his name, but we can also talk about the good memories we had with him. Or we can do this. And just, like, I think everything you figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of want to, this is a whole another thing, but you've been through all of these situations, and that's, like, a lot back to back.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a lot, period. And how did you, obviously everyone else is going through different things as well, but how did you personally, like, cope with all of that and get through that? And obviously, like, it comes back
Yeah.
and you still feel it, but during that time,
I had really good support.
okay.
Yeah, I had really good support with my family and my friends and just, like, my loved ones. School-wise, I fell a little behind, but my teachers were really understanding.
They better be.
Yeah, I got a few assignments dropped out, which was awesome.
I'll fight them if they weren't understanding.
No real.
'Cause that,
Yeah.
anyway,
Well,
continue.
my psychology teacher, right after my dad died, I didn't go to school for, like, the next 2 days. And my psych teacher, the second day I wasn't there, he was like, and here goes Maddie skipping again. And my friend Avery stayed behind after class and was like, no, she's not skipping.
Did he not know?
No.
Wow.
I don't
That's-
think my school ever emailed. Because I think they're supposed to email if a kid goes through a loss
Yeah.
or something. Like, I've heard a system that...
That's
Yeah,
I think that's what my school.
Well, I knew someone who lost their dad, and their school, like, announced it over the
See, I wouldn't
PA.
want that.
I would
but
not want that.
No,
I
she didn't
think-
want that either. They didn't
No,
tell
that's
her.
horrible.
Isn't that, like, insane?
That's it.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway.
But, like, yeah, my friend Avery, like, clocked them and was like...
As she should.
What the heck,
Oh
you
my
stupid
God.
idiots. But I also just, like, took a lot of time to do things that I liked to do. To kind
Yeah.
of, like, just, like... And, of course, some days are hard. Some days are really, really hard still. But I just, like, again, goes back into my point. I just take it one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And my coping was, like, I tried to be, like, as healthily coping as possible. Because I think there's really bad, unhealthy
Yes.
coping skills that
Yeah.
some people have. Everyone deals with grief differently, but some people, like, their coping skills... Therapy does exist for a reason, and it's really important. And I think a lot of people benefit from it. I've personally never done it, but it's important. I've heard really great things about it. Coping is such a weird thing. So I just kind of, like, I would do things I liked to do.
Yeah.
I would hang out with people. I tried not to be alone.
Yeah. That
Being
is-
alone, because then that's all I could think about.
And that's
Yeah.
when it comes back.
Yeah. And I tried to get back to school immediately. I only had 2 classes a day my senior year, so, like, I wasn't at the school building a lot. But even just being there for a couple of hours, it would be like, wow, at least I'm out of my house. Also, after a lot of my experiences with death, my mindset of coping, especially if I would have to be alone, is I just, like, think that I'm never alone because I'm always finding new versions of myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, I'm always meeting a different version of myself. I'm not really
Wow.
alone.
Because you're forever changing.
Yeah. Because then I realize other hobbies I like to do, or, like, other skills I have. Like, I really like running, which is not in my was never my forte in high school.
Preach,
Not
'cause
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like, I started to run, and I was like, wow, I can do this. Or, like, I started to draw, which I had done drawing in
I love your drawings.
Oh
Oh
I
my
draw a
gosh.
lot.
Drawing's the best.
Even though I'm not that good at it, I like to do it.
Yes, she is. Just
I just copy off of
But-
Pinterest.
As a fine arts student, you don't have to be good at art to do it.
Exactly. Also, the experiences I've had with death have made me really, like, kind of, like, have added a new level to the art I make, being a media student.
Yeah.
So, like, of course
Yeah.
I'm not thankful that they died, but it threw in a new form of character development for me.
Yeah.
I like how positive you are about it.
No,
I feel
for
like
real.
that's like a really good
Yeah.
mindset.
And this is,
I
like,
feel like.
semi-recent at, like,
Yeah. Yeah, we're
recent.
coming up on a year of my dad, which is crazy to me. But I think being positive about it is, like, one of the only ways that I can get through it. I joke about it a lot. Sophie has been there when I've joked about, I'm like, well, my dad's dead.
Do people like, or like, or do
Yeah,
they just,
usually
like,
they don't
That
know how to react.
was my first reaction.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. I don't care. Well, I do care, but, like, I don't care at a surface level that, like, you're upset that
Yeah.
or whatever. But, yeah, I think being positive and kind of, like, sometimes poking fun of it in, like, a not offensive way. Like, I'm never going to, like, be like, haha, you have a dead grandpa, and that's silly. I'm not going to joke about death in other people's families, but I'll poke fun at, like,
Because it's your own personal.
And that is a way of coping.
loss.
yeah, I'm like, I don't want to,
You
I
know?
really, I loved them when they were alive, and I remember the good parts of them. I'm going to joke about the good parts of
Mhm.
them, no, even though they're gone.
As you should. I feel
And
like.
that kind of keeps memory.
Because
and
Yeah.
honoring them
I
alive.
feel like talking about them and maybe not so like it doesn't even have to be joking, but maybe in like sort of a like light-hearted way and
Mhm.
like
Yeah, I love that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I don't want to go back on them dying. I
Yeah.
want to be happy.
This podcast is presented by El Vaquero.
authentic Mexican dining just steps off of UC's campus on Short Vine.
Visit El Vaquero today at 2845 Short Vine Street and follow them online at El Vaquero Clifton. El Vaquero, the best in Cincinnati.
So we talked a lot about you talked a lot about like how you view death. I feel like you try to remain positive
Mhm.
throughout it, and I think that's like a very key thing when you have lost someone. To obviously you can't always remain positive, like that's unrealistic, but I feel like it helps to try and remain positive sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So as a society and as people, I feel like death, and it makes sense that we view it as negative because it's death, and like that's a very negative thing. But like, how do you think from like a societal standpoint that like we can maybe view death in a more positive light?
I really think just thinking about, like, the life the person lived and the good parts of their life.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of people, like, when they die of old age or of disease, they were probably in pain. Of course, like, death is hard and stuff, but them leaving is almost like them being set free of that
Yeah.
pain
Yeah.
and at peace. So I think that, like, almost like you should have that, like, not, like, a positive, always, you don't have to have a positive outlook, but almost like a neutral outlook.
Yeah.
You can remember they lived a full life if you live into old age or however you lived, and you can think about the good ways that they lived, because there's good in everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably a positive memory for every person out there in this world, no matter how they go out, even if some people are genuinely horrible people, but they probably had one positive impact at one point in time.
I sort of just agree with you, but I do think that something that's really hard to come to terms with, this is a little bit off topic, but I feel like it relates a lot, is that you don't always get the best version of someone
Mhm.
when they die. If it is of old age, you might have the same person that they were before, but also, like, I know my grandma has dementia and she is not the same
Mm-hmm.
as she was, and so I won't have like that,
Yeah.
her actual version of herself. And same with people who die of illness,
Yeah.
especially
Addiction.
or addiction. Like, that's really, really hard, and that kind of relates to trying to find positive memories of people when they do die, because sometimes you just get the bad at the end.
Yeah. My Mimi, she died with complications from, like, dementia.
Okay.
And this is, like, a story with my aunt. They went to visit her,
Okay.
and they were like, do you want to see this person? They kept naming people. And then she was like, no. And then they said my aunt's name. She was like, ugh, no. My aunt said her own name. She's like, ugh, no. And we always talk about this, and we always just talk about how, like, that wasn't Mimi.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't her full authentic self, because there was a part of this disease that was kind of stripping her away.
Yeah.
And we always, like, talk about how, like, even though it was kind of funny in the moment, it kind of, like, leaves a sour spot, but you also have to be so,
Because
like,
that
kind
does
of, like,
hurt, you know.
like, a moment of, like, just, like, being aware that that's not them.
Yeah.
It's like a fragment of them. It's not them fully structured as who they were, like, once were, and the person you grew up around, or the person you've known your whole life, as they begin to slip away from things, especially, like, dementia, or anyone who's, like, in dying of a disease or addiction of some sort. They really do lose themselves, which is horrible. But you kind of have to remember who they were at their most authentic self.
Yeah, along with that, I think when someone dies in, like, a really tragic way, it's really a big thing where people will only, like, talk about how they died and not about, like, the life that they lived or, like, who they were as a person. And then all of a sudden, like, the story becomes just about how they died and not
Instead of their life.
Yeah, which is, like, kind of terrible.
I feel like that happens a lot with suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When-
Or celebrities, too.
Yeah.
Any celebrity
Like,
thing.
every time I see, like, Matthew Perry,
Yeah.
when he died
Yeah.
of, like, a drug overdose, I'm pretty sure, like, heart complications, I think, induced by drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone talks about, like, because they're trying to find out, like, the suspicious stuff about it.
Yeah.
But I was like, why can't we, like, all the headlines and if you look up his name, you still are just seeing things about how he died.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I kind of want to remember, not that I know him personally, but I hope, like, people are able to remember, especially any celebrity, but that's just the first example that came to my mind, how they did live.
Yeah.
And, like,
Exactly.
yeah. And when someone takes their own lives, that's not who they were.
Yeah.
They
Like,
had
mhm.
like a
It
horrible
doesn't
thing.
define
No.
them.
No.
They're so much more than that
Mhm.
singular moment.
I also think that going off the whole celebrity thing, this might just be me, but I feel like death in general is so much more normalized. Not normalized, but like we're almost desensitized to it.
Yeah.
And whenever you hear about it on the news or whatever, it's like, oh, 6 people dead in a car crash. Oh, okay, that's like every other day. Like, but it's such a terrible thing, and I feel
Yeah.
like being so desensitized to that is not.
I think it's big. That's a big thing with social media, is that it's so much easier to say stuff. Just, leave a TikTok comment and walk away than to, say it to someone in person. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with any situation, being sensitive about death and grief and all of it is always the better option. And like even things that you see on the news that you think is so like usual, but just because we see it on the news doesn't make it usual. But anyways, I just think it's not a good mindset to have, to like
Yeah.
always just say, oh, okay, or oh, that's sad, but look at this TikTok I just found, isn't this so funny? Like, it kind of is a little crazy to me when people move on so fast from
death.
things
Yeah.
that just happen like that.
It's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
I think death is fascinating. As a
I
true
think
crime
so.
lover,
I don't like true
I
crime.
love it. Because I think it almost sometimes, like, I listen to a couple of true crime podcasts, like Crime Junkie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I find out about a lot of cold cases and how people just die in horrific ways,
Crazy.
and then people just forget.
Like, it's
or they
crazy.
stop caring almost. And, like, you only hear about, like, cases of murder being solved when, like, hundreds go unsolved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
that
just
is
crazy.
to
Like,
me.
almost like how, like, we ignore some death. I think some people almost ignore it to make themselves feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, that's a horrific way to die.
Mm-hmm.
Being murdered.
Yes.
Horrible. I mean, any way to die is horrible, but someone took your life.
Yeah.
And then those people, like, live with, like, alongside us. You never know what's going on. That's
Yeah.
just, like,
yeah,
a psychological
that's why I
thing.
can't watch true crime, because I just, like,
I think it, like, fascinates me.
ugh.
I'm gonna switch the conversation a
Okay.
little bit. How do you think that, like, losing someone or facing grief has, like, impacted the way that you see, like, death and, like, like how you personally feel about like eventually like you're gonna die.
Dying.
Yeah, 100%. It does scare me more.
Mm-hmm.
Before I experienced like a real hard-hitting death,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I never got anxious about it. Because I was like, I'm so young, like, I don't have to worry about that. But then, like, people my age die all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. And
All the
that's
time.
Yeah.
So scary.
Yeah, people my age die all the time. People older than me die all the time, but still, people my age die all the time. And, like, I get more anxious about it now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of more aware of it.
Yeah.
I try not to think about it too deeply because I do start get panicky a little bit. Because I do think about, like, where do I end up after?
Mm-hmm.
Will I just be gone?
No, as a
That's a
kid,
question.
that would like terrify me. Like
Yeah.
I would like stay up late because I was so scared of like
Yeah.
dying.
When I was a kid, this goes in with like my anxiety and stuff, but I would like my chest would hurt for a second and I would be up all night and I'd go to my parents and be like, I'm dying, I'm dying, I'm dying, and it was just like a panic attack.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But my parents didn't tell me that, and they were like, no, you're not going to die, but I was like, I'm having a heart attack. I'm having, like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, yeah.
irrational. Because that had been going on before I even really experienced death in my life.
Mhm.
So I think that was kind of my first, like,
Yeah.
my brain processing, I'm dying, and I definitely wasn't, but, like, I
I'm
don't
just,
know.
like, so much more aware of it now.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, people die my age. I need to get better habits. Like, I drink a lot of energy drinks. And, hey, Sophie, me too, girl. A Lonnie in my hand every day. But heart problems run in my family. But I'll get, like, a tight chest pain, like you were saying.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, my God,
I'm dying.
I'm having a heart attack.
Yeah, no, literally.
No, literally. Or I'll get a really bad headache, and I'm like, oh, my God, I have a brain tumor.
Yeah.
Or I just, like, try to convince myself I'm dying. Like, I always, like, I think of this. There's two people in your head, okay?
Yeah.
Normal you, and then someone who wants to ruin your fucking life. And that guy wins a lot for me.
What? So that's like your
Yeah,
bad
that's, like,
guy.
my
You're like
bad
devil
guy.
and
Yeah,
Halo.
it's literally that, but they're in my
Angel.
head. And it's, like, evil Maddie and normal Maddie. And normal Maddie's, like, super fun and super exciting. And then there's just, like, little evil Maddie. And she kind of
Maddie
wins
the
sometimes.
baddie.
Yeah, Maddie the baddie, but she's not good bad.
Like, she's not good
She's
bad. She's actually
bad.
bad.
Evil.
Yeah,
Evil
but,
Maddie.
like, that guy wins a lot for me.
Mm.
So, yeah, I always convince myself that I'm dying somehow.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I'm so fine,
Mhm.
and I need to stop. There has to be, like, an anxiety for that. Because, like, you
For
know, like-
that.
Well, there's definitely one for
That's-
like a fear of death.
yeah.
I
I
think
don't know
that's
what it's
kind
called.
of part of like an OCD vicious cycle.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
I
think
know
that's
that's
my OCD.
mine,
That's where
yeah.
my
partly.
OCD comes in. I love going on, like, super long walks, but then if
I love
someone's
walks.
walking behind me for
Oh
too
my
long,
God.
They're
I'm
gonna
like-
kill you.
or this happens all
See,
the
this
time.
is why I don't watch true crime.
I always explain this to people. I get an irrational fear. I'll be in the elevator with one other person. I'm like, they're gonna pull a gun on me and shoot me.
I
think
think
about
that
that so
too.
often. Like, I'm like so consumed by death.
Yeah, I do think about death every single day.
It's like the two guys in your head.
I'm not on that train. I don't think about
Really?
it every day.
It's the two guys
But
in your head.
I think I used like a long time ago. I used to be like that, but then I feel like as I got older, I kind of was like, I'm big pimpin'. Like I'm fine now.
I'm big
Right.
pimpin'. But yeah, that guy wins a lot in my head, and I think that's my death anxiety.
I actually have something related to that.
Okay.
I just want to know everyone's like personal opinion of what you think happens when you die. I know this can be like there's a lot of people have different opinions because of faith related things or personal opinions, but I am like genuinely curious because I think that this is a bit of an open book question. Just what do you think?
I'm someone where I definitely believe there's something after life. I feel like for me, that's like how I keep my hope. Is that
What
there-
is this thing?
I,
like,
I don't know. I like
A
I
place
feel,
or a new life? Because I know that
I don't
that's-
know. I just know I feel like there is something else. I don't know. I feel like for me, I'm Baptist-ish,
Oh, really?
kind of Christian
Okay.
aligning. But I think that like I feel like there's just so many different religions, and they all
Yeah.
sort of, like, they don't specifically say the same thing, but they are relatively similar to one another. And I think that, like, I don't know if there's a name for it, but I feel
But
like
you
there's something.
Do you think that there's something, and that's what you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Maddie,
I personally identify as agnostic. So I'm
can
not
you explain that?
agnostic. I'm not 100% sure this is how you're supposed to explain it.
Okay.
But it's just the belief that there is something in this world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not completely against the idea that there is a God and that there is hell, whatever. Like, I'm not an atheist. I don't completely believe in that. But I also don't completely believe in the Christian faith, and, like, I don't fully believe in heaven because I just
Okay.
don't want to I don't want to put my whole faith into something
Mm-hmm.
and then it not be real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, that really freaks me out, the idea that I devote my life to
Mhm,
something.
and
So
then
you
you're
would
like-
rather have it more open?
Yeah, I'm just an open book. If I go somewhere when I die, I go somewhere. If I
Okay.
don't, and I don't know whatever happens to me, and I'm floating in an abyss for the rest
See,
of my
you're
life.
just okay.
That's what terrifies me, is that.
Floating in abyss.
Like, I don't...
In space?
No.
Yeah.
So what terrifies me about death is that there's nothing. That's what scares me. That
scares me too.
That gives me anxiety.
Like you just die and you're in the ground, brain off.
And there's just nothing.
But-
And that, like, makes me, like,
I love to
but
think
anyway.
that we live another life.
I
That,
would
like,
like
we
to
become
think
a new
that too.
person.
I hope I become a cricket.
Another
in
chance
another
at life.
Yeah.
You want to be a cricket, did
Yep.
you say? I mean,
That'd be kind of fire.
hell to the yeah.
Better than a potato.
Wait, that was really funny.
I
Only
really
you
enjoyed
got
that.
that joke, though. Only you got that joke.
I personally, I'm not attaching myself to anything. I'm still like on that journey of like, I don't really know. And I think throughout life, I'm going to develop what I do think happens. But I don't have an answer right now. And I'm not
dying to
freaking
know.
out about it, you know? But I would like to think that I could have some other life outside of
Yeah.
death in any sort of way. If that means in space as a tree, as another person, or in a place. Did I already say that?
I don't know. But
Any of that. That would be great, because the idea of being 6 feet underground and my mind can't even process that I'm dead, it's just like over,
Beyond
that
me.
scares me.
me.
Guys, I made a death pun on accident. You, like, said something, and I was like, you were like, I don't want to put all whatever you just said, and I said, yeah, I'm not dying to know. I said that, but I said it really softly.
I didn't see that. I didn't hear that. I mean,
Insert
Ow,
the drums.
yeah, that's actually
Or whatever.
I was like, I'm not dying to know.
That's really good. You are very soft spoken, so I didn't process that.
I normally am not. Usually I'm, like, the loudest bitch in the room.
That's no, but you
But,
have
like,
a
I
good
think, like,
calming voice.
I think when I get here, remember?
I do feel like if you were, like, talking about death and you were like, hi, my name's Maddie.
Hi, my name is Maddie, and I think that this is awesome, and I just freaking love death.
that
then
would be a little
my-
And, like, that
be.
wouldn't be right. But I think I switched my voice, and now I'm in my
for podcast
podcasting voice.
But that always does intrigue me. Like, I always want to know what people think happens after death. I'm not asking what's your faith. I'm not asking like what you believe in. I'm more of like just death. What do you think happens? And
Yeah.
I'm not like, you know.
'Cause we're in a room with so much music, I just want
Oh.
to know do you have, like, a song that you listen to in grief, or, like, that makes you remind you of, like, someone you loved?
Ooh,
Wow.
wait, I'm about to pull out the Apple Music.
I
Hold
listen
on.
to a lot of sad girl music. I'm
I do
not even
too.
gonna lie. A lot of Lizzie McAlpine, a lot of Phoebe Bridgers. I'll be honest, Funeral is on replay, even though, well, I am going through a bit of a like death
Wait,
situation,
I
but
have one.
I
Sorry.
have
Yeah.
two.
So there's this song, it's country. And it's like, it's Give Heaven Some Hell by
Oh.
Hardy.
that's a cool name.
Anyway, it's basically, he sings about like how he lost like one of his friends and how they're going to heaven, and how since they were like a group of friends that would give the world hell, to
Okay.
go up and give heaven some hell. But it's a good feel-good song
That's cute.
that I like. Anyway.
What about you?
I have two that I really, really love. I
Okay.
love Chemtrails by Lizzie McAlpine.
Mm.
The line of, I hate that I have to grow up this way without you, great. The little note at the end of her and her father, great. Just like a great grieving song.
Yeah.
She's really good at writing that. And then I'm going to shout out my favorite, Jake Min. She has a song called Dad's Song because he lost his dad when he was a kid.
Okay.
And it's a really good song. Really recommend
Okay.
it if you're ever like grieving, because you can also, it's applicable,
Mhm.
but it is called Dad's Song and it's really, really good.
All right, guys.
That's
that was spilled.
Build.
Thank you so much, Maddie, for joining us. You had such good thoughts and such good stories and everything
It was
to
a
share.
really good episode.
So thank you so much.
Thank
And
you guys.
we'd love to have you back on.
I'll be back in
Selfishly,
season
I
2.
don't know.
I'll be a recurring.
season
Can I
2.
be a recurring person?
Of
Please.
course.
Thanks.
Join us for next week's episode,
Ooh.
and we hope you enjoyed. Thanks for
Tuning in.
tuning in. We'll see you. Kisses. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yay!